I am honored and pleased to have the possibility to address, even virtually, your audience in the name of the French National Bar Council, this institution representing the 70,000 French lawyers. I really hope that you and your loved ones are doing well in this very, very strange and difficult time for all of us. I also want to tell you that it is essential that you protect yourself and, as far as possible, stay well at home. For this does not prevent us from seeing each other. Otherwise, of course, as we are doing right now on video, like millions of French people, and on behalf of all the lawyers in France, I would like to introduce this speech by paying tribute to all the healthcare professionals who are fighting today everywhere throughout the world. We all hang on thanks to their will, their self-sacrifice, and their courage. Thank you to them. And I propose that we applaud them, even if it's only virtually. Lawyers stand in solidarity with caregivers, in solidarity also with all citizens, in solidarities with the living forces of the nation, individuals as well as companies. We are supportive lawyers by continuing to plead, to assist our clients, even in the worst sanitary conditions. We are supportive by participating massively in the operation you may have heard about, Avocat Solidaire, launched by the French National Bar Council. This campaign allowed the lawyers to offer their services to all individuals and professionals seeking for first-level legal information on the consequences of the COVID-19 epidemic. Lawyers could not fail to stand to help our fellow citizens who need legal information in this time of crisis. It is, as you know, in our DNA to help. In these critical times, our legal business are down. So are our law firms. But we are not just companies. We are also a symbol. We are a social function. We are a social force. This operation has been a great success, with thousands of free consultations and thousands of lawyers mobilized. If we hadn't been supportive, who would have been? However, the lawyers are worried. Like millions of French people, they are flabbergasted by the health risk, astonished also by the state's response of this crisis. Like millions of French people, we were waiting for masks, for respirators, for tests. Instead, the government has produced 39 decrees. In France, you know, it is much easier to produce legislations than masks. We will not fight this virus with decrees, and this virus must not contaminate the rule of law. Yes, lawyers are flabbergasted by the disproportionate threats on the rule of law. Why should we suspend certain civil liberties? In what way will this help health care workers, research, and all the French people involved in this health crisis? The legal means deployed by the government are neither proportionate nor adapted to the crisis that our country is going through. The emergency is not to weaken the rule of law. The emergency is a health emergency. not a constitutional one. And the lawyers strongly denounce these violations. And the lawyers will not let the law back down. In that regard, we have judicially contested the following measures. First, on the administrative detention centers for illegal foreigners. Our aim was to ask the government to draw the necessary consequences from the exceptional seriousness of the COVID-19 epidemic, including in the administrative detention centers, and to draw attention to these places of deprivation of liberty. Unfortunately, the Council of State has refused the temporary closure of the administrative detention centers because of the COVID-19 epidemic. On criminal procedure, the French National Bar Council denounced the extension of the maximum time limits for pre-trial detention beyond the ordinary time limits. On judicial procedure, the National Bar Council denounced the possibility for the judge to declare application for interim measures inadmissible without an adversarial debate. It also denounced the possibility with regard to educational assistance of being able to extend a measure for the placement of a child without an adversarial debate. For example, without hearing the child, the parties, or their lawyers. Our applications have been all rejected, without a hearing, without an adversarial debate. But we will not hesitate to lodge more applications. We will not hesitate to use all legal means to fight these threats. Because we are lawyers. Because it is our responsibility to do so. Lawyers are supportive, as well as they are also hard hit by the crisis. The economic situation of law firms is dramatic in France. We are not the only sector of activity affected, of course, but we are perhaps the least protected, the least concerned by the economic safeguard plan put in place by the French government. And we must do everything we can to find answers to this worrying situation. During the coming weeks, as representative bodies of the legal professions, all our decisions, all our reports, all our projects must be driven by a single objective: to help our colleagues to get out of the crisis, to safeguard their cabinet. In France, we have obtained a few things. The possibility of declaring employees of law firms as short-time workers. The possibility of benefiting from the support fund targeting French companies. But the conditions are so strict that very few lawyers are eligible. We also got daily allowances for sick leave, for childcare, and for vulnerable persons placed in quarantine. I can give you a non-exhaustive list of actions that we need to urgently take and are taking. First, ensure that this confinement time is used by judges to issue all pending judgments. We must take advantage of this period when courts are closed to significantly reduce the backlog of pending cases. We cannot get out of the health emergency with a 2-year delay in the pronouncement of judgments and 2 years of postponements in future hearings. Not possible. The government must double also the amount of legal aid fees. The legal aid systems will slow down for several weeks, we know, jeopardizing numerous lawyers. This doubling of the fees must be implemented during the health emergency. It is at this price and at this price only that we will save the litigation lawyers. After the crisis, France still needs lawyers to go into police custody, to appear in court immediately, and to defend and represent the most vulnerable, whatever the cost it takes. It is also necessary to create a fund to safeguard law firms in difficulty. It should be funded, for example, by an exceptional levy on legal expense insurance contracts, which, in the event, are no longer activated in these times of suspension of judicial activity. We, the institutions and elected representatives of the profession, need to activate local authorities, regional and departmental councils, to release funds to preserve the territorial judicial network. We also need to obtain from banks preferential offers of zero-interest loans or facilitated lines of credit for law firms that suffer from this crisis. Of course, we did not want this crisis, and we could not force it, but here it is now. We need to join all our forces of our profession even more than ever. If we are united, if we agree to redraw our own lines, we will, for sure, overcome this crisis. Period that is now beginning is one in which lawyers can become central, key actors to the rebuilding of the nation. This reconstruction will largely be done through law. It is up to the lawyers to anticipate and respond. Circumstances call us to change, call us to be responsible, call us to be useful. Thank you so much for your attention.